Ah, there he is, Gomez, in the closet.
Oh yes, everybody has their own skeleton in the closet. Hello, and welcome to the Jekyllhydeclub.
Today we're reviewing a family Halloween tradition called Skeleton in the Closet. And there are several Halloween toys for family fun, and we're going to be reviewing them all between now and probably September, so that you will get to see what they're all like in great detail, because we always deliver thorough reviews, and you'll be able to decide which one you would like to get for your family activities if you would like to do that, or if you're like us and you want all of them, because they're all quite delightful. The next review will be Switch Witch, the original, which is different than the other one that came out with the same company. But today we're doing Skeleton in the Closet, and this is really fun for me. I'm not normally a skeleton person, but because to me they're just kind of boring, but this is so quaint with all the 80s artwork, kind of 80s style, and it just I like the 80s Halloween kind of stuff, so it was dear to my heart, and so we're going to give you a thorough review. This is really nice for family activities to celebrate the whole Halloween season rather than just grab a costume and go out Halloween night for trick-or-treating. You get to enjoy the spooky season all year. All year. Well, that's us. I'm sorry. The spooky season all month of October with different family activities. And if you guys are new, do subscribe and check out our spooky playlists. Hang out with us. And without further ado, we'll start with the box.
The Skeleton in the Closet, a Halloween tradition. This is a trademark concept created by Chad Shea and Danielle Bo, the illustrator, who is also sometimes the singer, part of a duet, a triplet of sisters.
Does she sing Halloween songs?
I think she sings pop. She became famous as a pop singer in recent years, and she participated in different fairy tales and plays and stuff like that, so presumably designed for kids, but she is not a kid person per se. She also does the metaphysical and shows how art can transcend the boundaries of the known and such, so she's a very good illustrator to use on a Halloween kind of booklet.
Oh, that's interesting. Maybe we can provide one of her links below.
Yes.
We got this on eBay, by the way. It was, I think, $22, where otherwise it's like $30 and more. So just keep checking. You'll see varied prices on this, and just keep trying to go for the lowest, obviously. I think we got it for $22, including shipping.
The box shows us the skeleton as the book would show us too, where he is playfully perched amidst the gravestones. And it sets the tone for what the book is describing, how the skeleton is not scary, it's part of the family tradition. It plays tricks, pranks that are harmless on one hand, and on the other hand it teaches you how to celebrate Halloween properly, namely with decorations, with trick-or-treats, with costumes, with the house being haunted and spooky appropriately at the right time for Halloween. So the skeleton is having this expression that's not goofy like some skeletons, so it's not exactly kiddie like that, but it's not scary at the same time, so I think it pays homage to the Halloween tradition without frightening the children in the process.
Like the fun kind of spooky that says we're not goofy, but we're not going to hurt you either. We just might startle you and make you scream a little, but
yes,
you will survive it.
Yes.
And I like the fact that, as you can see, the box is empty now because the skeleton is already out playing, which he will come very soon for his own part of this review. And I guess we've shown all we need of the box.
Yes, and it mentions that the skeleton is 19-inch, which we're going to demonstrate, but...
Yes, he got folded up to be put in the box. So
yes.
He is bendable, which is nice. A lot of the cheaper skeletons are bendable, but they don't stay posed, and he does, so that's kind of his shtick as well as his size. But first, we're going to show... The book is a nice hardcover book, and it has that yummy old book smell, which is nice because it's a new book. If any of you bookworms out there will know what I'm talking about. I think it was Gomez and I that started talking about it first, the old book smell.
Yeah.
Or somebody else knows about the book smell. How nice. I'm not the only weirdo that smells books. When you don't start smelling books, you just turn the pages and then you smell it and then you go, oh, that's a nice smell, and you smell the book. But this smells like an old book.
Yes, here we have a nice picture of the haunted house that we're supposed to reach on one of the Halloween nights, and a spooky tree that looks very nice, and a witch flying. Yes, and Ghost is hovering over the graveyard. The skeleton is not there yet, but he is just because he's approaching still.
Yes, it's like he rises from the dead at the beginning of October and hangs out all month and does spooky things. And it has a different activity for each week for the family, so it's really fun. I like things that you can do together instead of just sitting down in front of the computer or the TV. And it's a nice way to really embrace the spookiness of Halloween, and especially right now in the summer when everybody's ready for Halloween, so we're bringing it to you a little early so you know what to expect.
And here I like this element from the social point of view. It shows how Halloween is there in the background. We see the skeleton peeking out from the closet, but the children are together, so it sort of shows the family togetherness for Halloween more so than anything else, and that's kind of nice. And I think the author, Chet Shame, mentions how he was inspired by his own family tradition of this kind. So it is always consistent where the family spirit is highlighted this way. Okay, let's show more.
I love it's the kind of like the vintage watercolor 80s where it's not all crisp and computerized. It's more real and humanized without being such perfect art, and I really love that.
Yeah, some would consider it more primitive, but to me it seems more realistic in a sense. And here we see a bunch of those skeletons that we saw also on the box cover. And here the book shows more of a graveyard and how all the skeletons, they might look a little different, but they come out and they look sort of friendly. And it kind of teaches maybe the children also to accept a little bit different things than they're used to normally. And because they're friendly too, they just need to be understood the right way.
Yes, different things don't have to be bad.
Yes. So...
we're not going to show the whole book. We don't want to take all the fun away, but maybe just one more page.
Yes, and this is a very valid page because it comes with a Halloween Spirit Certificate of Authenticity.
The authenticity makes it valid.
Yes. And here the idea is that you're supposed to name your skeleton in the closet. They suggest that you can call them Bones and give them your own name, but you can fill in, and here if you fill it in, you fill the timing when you first received the skeleton and the name, and it again cements this family tradition and how it's celebrated. So I like that page a lot.
We should do that eventually.
Yes.
Did we ever really settle on a name yet?
No, not yet.
We tossed a few things around, like Scully Bones and Skull and something. I know that doesn't sound that creative, but it's what I used to call the skeleton in my school. Not a real one, of course. We used him to learn about anatomy, and it was just my little kid name for him. But I'm like, is this going to be this one? I guess we could call him John, like for the Ghost of John, the song that scared the crap out of me. I decided to sing later. Don't ask me why.
Because you do it so well, of course.
Oh, Gomez. And now for the skeleton himself. I guess we could call him John for this, since the song just came on in the background. Should we call him John?
Yes, that seems appropriate.
No. He is 19 inches. He has, where you hang him up here, a little string. We have him on the wall usually, then we can easily take him down. So I like that a lot. And his jaw moves, but it doesn't stay posed. I guess if you wanted to keep it shut, you could put a little tiny bit of masking tape under here that's clear and you wouldn't see it, but I like it open for now. And I saw reviews on Amazon of people saying I gave it to my kid and, it's not very well made and he tore it apart in like 20 minutes, but he really enjoyed it or whatever. And, the thing is, two things about this. First of all, it is a family tradition kind of toy that you play with together. It's not a toy that you give your kid and go at it. You might as well get a Dollar Tree skeleton that doesn't pose and, just let the kid tear that up. Because it's not a 2-year-old's toy. Because of the fact that he's very jointed, and posable, meaning he won't flop back down like the jointed skeletons at Dollar Tree will. You can see I can move him and pose him like this. So when figures or toys are very jointed, they're not really they can be for children, but not young children who don't know how to be gentle with them. So this is something that you play with your child, and that's why the book does the different activities of where you put the skeleton and how you hide it for different things or have it sitting with a costume or whatever you're doing with it. You're supposed to pose it and do things with it with the child as the parent. So it's more of like an interactive toy, not a toy that you give your kid and go have at it and then you're annoyed when it breaks. I hope I'm making that clear as far as explaining what I mean. And it's because of these joints. When we first got him, his hand already came off in the box. And I'm like, oh, really? His hand's already off in the box. But I noticed that you could just snap it right back in. It will come off, but no one seemed to notice on the Amazon reviews where they were complaining that you can just snap it right back when he does come off. when his parts do come off, there are joints in there like a ball and socket thing, and you just snap it right back in. But, the kid could lose the parts, or you never know. So I would be careful with young children playing. It will come apart, and you'll have to put him back together. But he does come right back together. And so that's the good part, that yes, it can come apart a little more easily for more rougher play, but you just snap them right back together. And the box even says that. Isn't it the box that says it? Or no, maybe there's a piece of paper inside the box.
Yes, in fact, I have it right here.
Oh, to prove.
Yes, it's a little diagram that shows how it is to be reattached and such. It has the skeleton diagram itself, and it has some arrows that point to where it is to be reattached. I'm bringing it closer to show it.
Now, some joints are, like this knee one wants to move a little bit more than it should, but it is still a lot more posable than most skeletons, or all. There was another small one I saw being sold on Amazon from Japan that was also posable, but he was like 6 inches or something. So this is pretty tall. This is 19. It's taller than our Jack Skellington doll, so a better toy to play bigger pranks and whatnot. So, hey, you can pose him, yay! But, he's made really well as long as you know that he's not a toy for your 2-year-old, and it will come apart and you will need to put it back. He can do the splits, can John. So many poses, so little time. Only a month. But we play with him all year, so it's good. So, yeah, his posability is, his head does turn, but it's a little bit harder to turn his head, but you can. Smell at the camera, John. He says, okay. And his elbows, his shoulders have the full swivel socket. His elbows bend back and forth, as do his wrists. And all these pieces can pop in and out easily, so it's not a problem if it comes out. Just snap it back in. Again, back and forth. And the hips have full swivel, and the knees just bend back and forth without full swivel, which they really don't need, just like the elbows. And the ankles move a little. He doesn't do the full ballet foot arch, but a ballerina John was not. That's okay. Not everyone is. And so, those are his waist doesn't move, but it's so nice because you can pretty much put him in whatever position you want. I was sitting him. So that's why I was saying you can sit him. Let's see. I had him on his box earlier for fun. Like he's sitting on his tombstone or something. Like, yay. No. He's got one hand on his leg, and the other hand says, hi, YouTube. It's Halloween. Go buy me on eBay. Because I'm cheaper there right now. So I heard some people on the reviews say he's just, a generic skeleton. It's not worth the price. You get the really neat artwork. You get the Halloween activities thought out for you. You get the fun, and he is posable, which is different, and he's bigger, and again, it's not as badly put together as some make it seem because you just snap it back in place. So that is the review for Skeleton in the Closet, aka John. And do you have any other comments about him, Gomez?
No, I think we covered it all nicely.
So if you get your own, do maybe leave a comment for us and tell us what kind of fun stuff you did with him and how you enjoy him. And until next time,
stay spooky, my friends.